Every day of my life feels like it's harder than the last. And that things just keep getting worse for me because of my size. And I'm so tired of it and all the pain. I lose my battle because my body finally gives out from my weight, or will I be able to survive another day?
Let's be honest, my 600-pound life has had its fair share of awkward, cringe, and downright embarrassing moments. From unexpected slip-ups to shocking confessions, these scenes had fans laughing, gasping, and hiding behind their hands. But every moment tells a story of struggle, humanity, and the courage to keep going. No matter what, let's see some of the most embarrassing moments ever seen on my 600-pound life. This is Shiana's story. At just 22 years old, she weighs over 600 pounds. Every single day is a battle between fear and survival. She wakes up scared, goes to bed scared, and spends her days worrying that her body might one day give up on her. She's stuck in a body she no longer recognizes and terrified of what's coming next. Will she find the strength to turn her life around and fight for her future? Let's find out how Shiana's long and painful journey begins.
Live with her, but she travels most of the year. So Derikus is there to help me do a lot while she's gone. But I don't want him to ever have to help me with this, or ask anyone to do that for me.
That's honestly heartbreaking. Shiana absolutely hates herself and everything she sees in the mirror. Her body is covered in sores, and cleaning them is a nightmare because of her massive size. Each morning feels like a punishment. She breaks down, asking herself how she ever allowed things to get this bad. It's devastating to watch a young woman feel trapped inside her own skin, suffocating from the very body she lives in. You can tell she desperately wants to change, but has no idea where to start.
My legs and my feet disgust me the most about my body. They don't even seem human anymore. None of me does.
The truth is, Shiana's body is slowly reaching its breaking point. She's beginning to realize that food has given her comfort for so long, but now it's destroying her. What hurts the most is watching life move on without her. Her friends are in college, having fun and living freely, while she's stuck at home, consumed by food and regret. She wishes she could go back, undo all the damage, and just feel normal again. But for Shiana, normal feels like a distant dream slipping away.
Can you give me some burritos?
Okay.
And hash brown?
Okay. How many do you want?
Four burritos.
Her friend really tries, but he doesn't stand a chance. Every time he tries to portion her meals, she gets upset because it's never enough. He just can't bear to see her unhappy, so he gives in and feeds her whatever she wants. It's a sad cycle. Love mixed with guilt, comfort mixed with destruction. What he doesn't realize is that his kindness is slowly killing her. Shiana doesn't need sympathy. She needs strength, discipline, and a reason to fight for her life again.
Can I please have a large stuffed crust pepperoni pizza? The cinnamon, and that's all. Thank you.
Now this is just unreal. Shiana just finished 6 burritos and immediately ordered a large pizza, like she's racing against time. It's almost painful to watch because she doesn't see what she's doing to herself. How can she expect to lose weight when she's eating like the world's about to end? She keeps feeding her pain, one bite at a time. At this rate, no diet in the world can help her unless she finds the willpower to stop using food as an escape.
He wasn't easy to get along with, and I should have walked away years before, but we stayed together for a while.
My mom never really knew how bad things were between me and my dad.
Her story is beginning to make sense now. Shiana's childhood was pure chaos. Her father was abusive, constantly yelling, threatening, and making their home a place of fear. To survive emotionally, Shiana turned to food. Every bite became her shield, every meal her moment of peace. But that comfort didn't last. What started as a way to numb her pain grew into an addiction that controlled her. Now, the emotional wounds from her past are written all over her body, and food is the only language she knows.
Perspective was that I had food as my friend, so I didn't need anyone or anything else. So my weight gain continued and got even worse when I was a teenager.
Things only got worse as Shiana grew older. Her trauma followed her everywhere until it finally broke her. At just 16, she dropped out of school because she couldn't handle the shame or the stares. It was like the world gave up on her. The only person who stood by her side was her mom, her rock, her only safe place. Without her mom's love, Shiana might not have survived this long. It's heartbreaking to think how much one person can endure before they completely fall apart.
It got really bad and I just shut off. It was in this downward spiral until my mom came and got me.
After about a month of me not being able to contact her consistently without him interfering, I finally went up there.
It's almost like life refused to give Shiana a break. First, she had a toxic, abusive father, and later she found herself in a relationship with a man addicted to drugs. It was one painful chapter after another. Eventually, she and her mom walked away from that life, but the damage had already been done. The emotional scars turned into physical ones, and before she knew it, Shiana's weight shot past 600 pounds. It's tragic, but it also shows just how much pain she's been carrying for years.
No, thank you. Oh.
I miss you so much.
What's new?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm fine. Tour was exhausting.
It was?
Yeah.
At least she's not alone. Shauna's mom loves her more than anything, but she's terrified of losing her daughter. She watches helplessly as Shiana eats herself into an early grave. Every bite feels like one step closer to tragedy. Her mom begs her to stop, but Shiana just can't control it. You can hear the heartbreak in her voice when she says she doesn't want to bury her baby girl. The only hope left is Dr. Now, and they both know it's time to call him.
I'm with Dr. Now is tomorrow. So if this truck isn't big enough, I'm not sure what my options are going to be to get to Houston and do this. Yeah, we're good.
Good? Shut the door.
Well, that's a relief. Shauna was finally able to fit into the truck. Honestly, I didn't think she would make it in, but she proved me wrong. You can almost see the tiny spark of hope in her eyes. For the first time in a long while, she's doing something for herself. This journey to see Dr. Now might just be the beginning of her second chance at life. Still, the road ahead won't be easy. The real question is, will she be strong enough to follow through?
But I don't know what he's gonna say. So I'm just really afraid right now of what's gonna happen. I just hope it's good and that I get a chance. Because I don't know what I weigh anymore.
Oof, that's not looking good. When Shiana finally checks her weight, the scale reads over 600 pounds. Dr. Now doesn't hold back. He tells her straight up that if she wants her life back, she has to fight for it. The truth is harsh, but it's exactly what she needs to hear. He's not going to sugarcoat anything. Shiana has to stop making excuses and start working. The first step is simple. Change her eating habits or risk losing everything she has left.
Or depressed or something.
Okay, so you use food to cope. So, Shiana, you need to learn how you're going to correct your eating habit, right?
Yes, sir.
You can tell from her face that this is not going to be easy. The moment Dr. Now tells her she has to lose 80 pounds in 2 months, she looks like she's been handed a death sentence. No snacking, no excuses, no shortcuts. She says she's ready, but the fear in her eyes says otherwise. It's the hardest challenge of her life. She'll either rise to the occasion or let her old habits destroy her once and for all. It's all up to her now.
I am now and make it enough. So I'm trying the hardest I can, but it's just not easy. It's been 2 months since my Dr. Now appointment, and I was supposed to be back for another one sometime last week, but I was too scared to go, because I never found the papers with his diet and stuff.
Wait, what? She lost the diet papers Dr. Now gave her? You've got to be kidding me. It's starting to look like she's not taking this seriously. She says she's scared to call Dr. Now because she doesn't want to disappoint him. But come on, 3 whole months have passed and she hasn't lost a single pound. It's frustrating because deep down, you know she has potential, but she's too afraid to face the truth and fight for her life.
If I called back and said I lost them,
Why should we get mad at you because you lost something?
I don't know, I just thought you'd get mad.
Well, if you didn't have the diet, then you didn't know what to do. So I'm guessing you wasted 2 months of time. You could have been making progress. Is that the case?
I don't think so, I've still been trying.
Oh, she definitely had this coming. Shauna finally calls Dr. Now, and he completely lays into her, and rightfully so. He's been patient long enough. 3 months wasted and still no progress? That's not determination. That's laziness. It's hard to feel sorry for her when she keeps making the same mistakes. Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat his words. He tells her exactly what she needs to hear, not what she wants to hear. Hopefully, this wake-up call finally pushes her to get her act together.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And who is the partner with you?
My cousin Derek is.
Nice to meet you. All right, Shiana, it's 3 months later, and you haven't lost any weight.
Unbelievable. She lost the papers again. At this point, what is she even doing? Dr. Now looks completely done with her. She had extra time, more chances, and still couldn't meet the target. It's like she doesn't realize how serious her situation really is. If she keeps this up, she's going to lose the only person who's willing to help her. Dr. Now is right. It's her life, and if she doesn't take responsibility, no one else can do it for her.
And it doesn't seem to matter to you. You're in the world that doesn't exist. And you got like a cocoon around yourself, and you're not seeing the reality of what's going on.
Dr. Now said it best. This is her life. No one else can lose the weight for her. Shiana has to make the decision to fight for herself, or she's going to end up losing the battle entirely. He tells her to take control and stop using fear as an excuse. You can tell he genuinely wants her to succeed, but at this point, everything depends on her. If she wants to survive, she needs to prove she can be stronger than her addiction.
So I haven't found a place to live because all my energy is going into what I need to get my weight down to the goal I'm supposed to have. So I'm hoping that I finally lost some weight and did it this time.
Shiana?
On my last weigh-in, I was 658.
Wait, what? Shiana actually managed to lose some weight? That's a pleasant surprise. Sure, it's not the number Dr. Now wanted, but it's something, and that's progress. You can see a bit of pride on her face this time. Maybe she's finally starting to believe in herself again. She still has a long way to go, but it's a small victory that shows she hasn't completely given up yet. Hopefully, this marks the beginning of real, lasting change in her journey.
Wanna do it, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you later. I'm glad to see Shiana had some weight loss in this time and that she's moved down here to Houston since she lost her support system back home.
And that's where her story stands for now. Dr. Now is happy that Shiana managed to cut down a bit, but she's still far from her goal. He wants her to start therapy to deal with the emotional scars that keep dragging her back to food. It's clear that her weight isn't just physical, it's the weight of her pain, her trauma, and her past. The journey ahead won't be easy, but at least Shiana has taken her first real step toward healing.
When I was born, yes, until I
Okay.
was 4.
Do you know what pulled your parents apart?
My dad's abusiveness, and him and her just not getting along.
Tommy's life is falling apart, and he knows it. At 33 years old and weighing over 600 pounds, every morning feels like a battle for survival. Just getting out of bed is an exhausting struggle. His body aches, his spirit feels broken, and he can barely remember the last time he felt normal. He says every day feels like punishment, but deep down, he still hopes that maybe, just maybe, there's a way out of this nightmare. This is where Tommy's weight loss journey begins.
Every day of my life is a hard reminder of how bad I've let myself and my body get because my weight has reached a point.
You can tell Tommy is tired of living like this. He hates that he can't walk, work, or even step outside like everyone else. His days are spent trapped in a cycle of pain, self-loathing, and regret. His wife does almost everything for him, cooks, cleans, and even helps him move around. Still, she refuses to give up on him. Seeing her love and patience is heartbreaking because she deserves so much more, but she believes in him, even when Tommy doesn't believe in himself.
No one can lift me. Went online and bought 15 pair grip socks. I even wear them in the shoes just so it gives me that better chance of not slipping and falling.
It's crazy when you realize how much control food has over his life. Tommy admits that eating is the only thing that brings him comfort, even if it's destroying him. He says food doesn't judge him. It's always there when no one else is. But the truth is, it's killing him slowly. His fiancée tries to help, but she's enabling him without realizing it. 10 sandwiches a day, endless snacks, and zero movement. That's his reality. It's painful to watch him live like this.
Fast as I can before I'm out of too much stamina because I have to try not to wear myself out so much I can't get out this shower. But it does take a lot out of me.
When Tommy opens up about his childhood, everything suddenly makes sense. He grew up in chaos. His father was always drunk, his parents constantly fought, and home never felt safe. So he turned to food to cope, to escape, to numb the pain. When his father died, the grief pushed him even deeper into his addiction. Food became his best friend, his safety blanket, and eventually, his prison. By the time he finished high school, he was already over 500 pounds and completely lost.
Mom got remarried when I was 13. I didn't trust my new stepfather before I started high school. I found out my weight was over 400 pounds then. I tried to eat less and slow things down, but it never worked. So my weight gain through high school just kept getting worse.
His fiancee's story is equally heartbreaking. She admits that her previous partner weighed over 700 pounds and died because of obesity. Now she's terrified that history might repeat itself with Tommy. She loves him deeply, but she's scared every single day that one morning she'll wake up and he'll be gone. It's the kind of fear that never leaves. She wants him to fight for his life, but Tommy doesn't seem to realize how serious things have gotten or how close he is to losing everything.
And I committed to her to lose the weight so I can give her a proper wedding. She wants to be able to walk down the aisle. But that was years ago I made that commitment to her, and I still haven't fulfilled it. I feel like a burden.
It's no surprise that his fiancée eventually reaches out to Dr. Now for help. At this point, Tommy can barely fit in the car, and even short rides make him feel like he's suffocating. But somehow, he pushes through. The drive is painful, long, and full of anxiety. Still, he does it because he knows this might be his last chance. Dr. Now agrees to see him, and for the first time in years, Tommy feels a flicker of hope. Maybe this could save his life.
But if I can get some food or snacks, I know that will help me handle this. Can we get something to eat before we get going, please?
I can go in and order from
Amanda, we're going to sit in the car and you go see.
Check that.
When he finally meets Dr. Now, reality hits him hard. The doctor doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells Tommy that if he doesn't lose weight soon, he's going to die. No excuses, no pity, just the truth. Tommy gets 2 months to lose a significant amount of weight before surgery is even considered. The challenge seems impossible, but Dr. Now believes that if Tommy wants to live for his fiancée, he'll have to start proving it. One choice, one meal, and one step at a time.
I really don't know.
You're still overeating too much. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we can do to get you to eat better and wake you up to lose some weight?
I guess I'm gonna try harder.
Tommy struggles, but he doesn't give up. Even after disappointing weigh-ins and constant temptations, he finds strength in the love around him. Dr. Now's tough love pushes him to stay disciplined, and his fiancée refuses to stop believing. Eventually, his hard work pays off. Dr. Now finally approves him for surgery. The joy on his face says it all. It's been a painful road, but for the first time in years, Tommy feels like his life is worth fighting for again.
Till he gets close to his target. But this surgery isn't a magic fix. And if Tommy has an emotional or pathological issue,
surgery day comes, and thankfully, it's a success. When Tommy wakes up, it's like a new chapter begins. Dr. Now reminds him that surgery isn't magic, it's just a tool. The real work starts now. With therapy and determination, Tommy begins to uncover the emotions he's buried under years of eating. The guilt, the pain, the trauma, it all starts to surface. But this time, he isn't facing it alone. His fiancée is by his side, and together, they're ready to rebuild their lives.
Food, and all of those can be very detrimental to a person's overall well-being. So I want you to think of this as a brand new opportunity to have a conversation with your mom.
This is Megan's story. Megan doesn't find it too difficult to get up from her bed, but every time she wakes up, she feels like it's going to be her last day on Earth. She's grown so fat that she thinks her body is finally ready to give up on her. Will she make it through her weight loss journey? Well, here is how her story begins.
Because with all the weight I have on me and the pain and aches it gives my whole body, I feel like I'm a prisoner in my own body.
Trying to imagine the pain she feels every morning when she wakes up is almost impossible. Megan had to move in with her mom just so someone could help her do the basic things she should be able to do on her own. That's sad for real.
After I get dressed, it's the first thing I want to do every single day. My mom makes me breakfast and I can't wait for it.
Let's just say her major problem is her mom. Megan's mom knows that her eating habit is bad, but she just doesn't want her daughter to feel bad. Sadly, the only thing that gives Megan some form of happiness is the same thing that's killing her: food.
On days when I feel up to it, I go to the grocery store with my mom. And it's really the only thing I ever go out for anymore. And it's like Christmas Day for me.
She can drive herself? That's surprising. For a second there, I wasn't sure she would fit into the car. She says that the only reason she goes out is to pick up some groceries and get some food. Wow.
Ooh, chocolate marshmallow ones, Mom. It's the best place in the world to me. And I wish I could get everything I have a craving for. But we can't afford that, so I have to be selective.
How do you eat so much and still have the craving to eat sweet things? Does she know that it's unhealthy? Working around is already like the hardest thing for her to do. The least she can do is at least cut down on the sweet things she eats. Geez, it almost feels like she doesn't want to be better.
Emily and Ashley was mean to Megan because she had a different father than them, and they didn't want Megan to be in the picture.
What did she just say? She was already weighing 250 pounds at the age of 10? Yo, I wasn't even weighing 100 pounds at that age. Why do parents always allow their kids to eat so much? Knowing it can become very addictive, it makes no sense for real.
My weight, and I hated school. I never wanted to go because of that. It was like there was nowhere safe I could go anymore, except to food.
Already 600 pounds? Wow. Looks like the mom wasn't particularly the problem. Megan felt the comfort of her dad because he always allowed her to eat whatever she wanted. The moment her mom put some restrictions on her eating, she went straight to her dad. Now look how that turned out for her.
Drinking and doing other things. So I was getting to a really bad place and I just kept going on that road, and eventually I realized I had to stop. And I called my mom and asked her if I could move back with her.
She did not just say that. 9 medications a day is crazy. How can someone be on 9 medications a day due to excessive food intake and still eat like she's going to lose her life if she doesn't eat? Unbelievable. In Megan's world, food is everything.
Driving, and it just is a struggle with me getting in and out of the car a lot because it wears me out. really easily.
Looks good.
Girl, the only miracle that's going to happen is if you get yourself to the gym or you stop eating like you steal the food. Hearing this, one would honestly think she has already given up and is ready for whatever might happen.
But we don't know how long it'll take us or how I'll handle the drive, because I've never really done a drive like this. And at my current weight, I'm just not sure how it's gonna go.
She is right about that though. She's scared about the trip she's about to make heading to Dr. Now's hospital. But if we're being honest, the stress from the trip is way better than not doing anything at all.
I know he wants to help people who are my size, but you never can know what issues there could be or reasons he can't help me, so it's just my biggest fear.
And there she goes again, wanting to eat. Doesn't she get tired of food constantly going down her throat? Well, to be over 600 pounds, I don't think she sees it as a problem. Let's hope she makes her trip to see the doctor.
So if I don't get help today, there will be no options or anything I can do to stop what's gonna happen to me. And the only thing me and my mom will be able to do is go back home and just wait for me to die.
Wow! With all that eating, she's just a little over 600 pounds? I'm actually impressed. But one thing I know for certain is that cutting down that weight is going to be difficult for Megan. She loves food so much that it's impossible to see her losing any of her weight. Let's hear what the doctor has to say.
It's two, because it's going to be very hard for one person in the household to eat properly and the other person.
Oh, I plan on eating with her like she needs to eat.
We were all expecting to hear that. Dr. Now tells her that she needs to lose at least 80 pounds of weight in 2 months before he considers her for surgery. The big question now is whether Megan is up to the task. We all know she loves food.
Oh, with my weight loss over the past 2 months, and that I should be at my goal today. But I don't know what the scale's gonna show, and that's the only thing I'm nervous about.
And boom, she did not meet her target, but we've got to hand it to her. She managed to shed some of her weight, but just wasn't able to meet her target for surgery. She needs to apply more pressure if she really wants Dr. Now to consider her for surgery.
I still have it, and I read it.
How much of did you read?
I've read it, like, partially.
And so you really haven't read it very much carefully, right?
No, I probably should go back over it and read it thoroughly.
She read partially? That's honestly disgusting to hear. I mean, Dr. Now gave her everything she needed to cut down on her weight, and she decides to pick the one she feels she should? It's really annoying because she knows better than to skip anything.
I know how important it is for me to lose as much weight as I can, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes and work as hard as I can to show Dr. Now I can handle weight loss surgery.
Now look at Megan go. She really wants to get rid of the excess weight so she can meet her target weight. She registered at a gym, and it's really good to see that she's doing everything she needs to do to be better. Good one, Megan.
That become a factor with what the scale says for you. Not that you weigh. You understand that?
Okay, yes.
So what else did you change?
That is just sad. Even with her going to the gym, she still hasn't met the cut for her weight loss journey. And what's even annoying is that it's her fault. She still eats the way she wants, and now she can't meet her goal. It's annoying if we're being honest.
Pizza's here.
Okay, go get it. I'm hungry.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Being apart from my dad is the only thing that's really hard for me with this move.
And just like that, she's back with the same person who allows her to eat the way she wants. It honestly feels like she wants to give up on her weight loss journey. Her goal is to reduce the way she eats, but instead of that, she's eating like she's gonna die if she doesn't. Jeez.
I'm doing well, so I'm not sure why I'm not losing more.
Okay, well, you know, my concern is, let's see, you are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 medication. You are only, what, 25?
Even Dr. Now can't hide the fact that her conditions are too much for her not to be losing any weight. He even says that Megan's health conditions usually occur in people over 50 years of age. Guess what? She's just 24. That's just sad, honestly.
And I just really wish I had more support from her right now. Instead of helping me, she's making it a lot harder than it needs to be for me. That stuff should never be around me.
Aha! So the problem isn't Megan. The problem is her mom, and it is disgusting to see what she's doing. Knowing that her daughter is on a weight loss journey, she keeps eating junk food and keeping it in places where Megan will see it. It's almost as if she doesn't want her to lose any weight. Ew!
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, doctor.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Well, how are you getting along, Megan?
Good.
All right, well, I'm proud of you for losing another 30 pounds.
That has to be a big blow to the chest for Megan. The doctor gets her to run a few tests, and sadly, she is not healthy enough to have surgery done. I don't even know what to say. This is just sad. Will Megan ever be able to lose weight?
Get you to a healthy place very soon. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I'll see you in the hospital.
Okay. Awesome.
Samantha is living a waking horror show, isolated on the second floor of her apartment, unable to leave. She weighs an unknown, terrifying amount, struggles to squeeze into her tiny bathroom, and relies on a wooden stick to reach everywhere in the bath. She hasn't stood in a shower in 12 years. Her fear is legitimate. If she falls, she's trapped, hoping she doesn't die before help comes.
And it's still something I haven't gotten over to this day. Because in his final years, my dad and I had grown really close. And he came to me before he died and said, I am so sorry.
The narrative turns devastating. Her father, an abusive alcoholic, found a small window to seek forgiveness before he died in a motorcycle crash. The grief was so consuming that Samantha abandoned her young daughter Bella to her mother and binged her way past 600 pounds. The ultimate tragedy? Her addiction became her new job, modeling for fetishists who pay her to eat on camera, reinforcing the habit that nearly killed her in the first instance. She's trading her life for validation.
Samantha's lifestyle, it's such a trial for Isabella. It's been one bad decision after another. And I finally realized about 3 years ago.
Samantha's mother, the one who saved her from suicide, completely gives up and calls Dr. Now. She confesses that the modeling is just bad decision after bad decision, and she's had enough. But the real villain? The job itself. Samantha films herself eating massive cakes, getting praised and paid to get bigger. She's found a community that actively cheers on her self-destruction. This external sick encouragement, this fat fame, is the most toxic enabler of all. She's killing herself for likes.
It breaks my heart seeing my mom just kind of lose mobility. I don't know how to describe my emotion today.
She is still ordering massive feasts from the hospital cafeteria. A Caesar salad, 2 huge helpings of watermelon, cottage cheese, a Pepsi, chocolate milk, and carrot cake. Then she rings Dr. Now to explain why she missed their appointment, immediately collapsing into self-pity about her physical decline. She is literally ordering her next binge while complaining about her body breaking down.
You know, sometimes you do the math, you've probably eaten the food that belonged for the next 4 years ahead of time. What do you mean you're gonna stop?
Dr. Now hits the eating is your life problem with cold, hard logic. When Samantha cries that she feels she is starving, Dr. Now cuts her off with one devastating calculation. She has enough stored fat to survive for 4 years without eating anything. Then, the weight reveal, a staggering 940 pounds, gained in the hospital. She literally got bigger while under observation. The addiction is monstrous, but her blatant sabotage is mind-boggling.
Well, so right now, to travel without medical care is not an option for you. But we are still facing the issue that there is no available.
Dr. Now has seen enough. He points out that she is already past 900 pounds and still eating whatever she wants. He also says that her body is giving up and she has no plan for getting better. He gives her a final, impossible ultimatum: lose 250 pounds in 2 months just to be physically transportable to Houston. It's a do or die, lose 125 pounds a month or die in Denver scenario. What more can he do?
I'm just really scared. Like, I'm overwhelmed right now. It's gonna be a lot of things. Food is my entire life.
The most heartbreaking scene is Samantha breaking down to Dr. Now, confessing her ultimate fear: I don't know what I am without food. The tears are genuine, not manipulative, and they reveal the raw terror beneath the mountain of flesh. Food is her identity, her relationship, her coping mechanism, and the only thing she believes gives her purpose. It's a moment of devastating vulnerability.
These past months have been a huge change for me because getting weight loss surgery saved my life. When the stay-at-home stuff started, I started to get scared I wasn't going to be able to get weight loss surgery.
Dr. Now arranged a sleeve gastrectomy for her in Denver due to the COVID crisis and her inability to travel. She's down to a stunning 638, lightest she's been in 15 years. But, always a but, she is immediately plunged into deep depression. The surgery worked, but her emotional dependency remains. Finding the absence of binging worse than I thought. The external solution is complete, but the internal war is just beginning.
She is losing, but she has come to a standstill in the past couple weeks. She has not lost as much as I expected in the last couple weeks.
So what do you think her weight is now?
The good news is monumental. She's lost 500 pounds total and can now walk without the terrifying crutch of the hospital bed rails. Dr. Now is thrilled with the physical transformation, calling her recovery an absolute miracle. However, the emotional work is barely underway. Sam is still resisting the psychotherapy needed to conquer the emotional eating. She's been given a new life, an unearned reward, but if she can't mend the mind, that new body will eventually succumb to the same old patterns. It's a cliffhanger of hope and dread.
If I'm gonna take a good shower, Alicia helps. Or if Deja's here, Deja is 19 and she's in college, so she's in and out of the house here.
It's not just that Kenae can't walk. She needs teenagers to perform the most basic acts of hygiene for her. Can you imagine the sheer pride-swallowing horror of having a child wash you because you literally cannot reach your own body? This isn't living. It's a prison of flesh where the inmates are your own family members, forced into service. This is a 5-alarm fire of a situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is functioning at all.
I just always figured that once I found someone that I wanted to settle down with, I'd get pregnant, we'd have kids, we'd go on with life.
The 1-2 punch of infertility and a mother's death creates a black hole of grief so vast, she's been filling it with food ever since. The most heartbreaking part? Her weight has become a physical cage, preventing her from even visiting her own mother's grave. She's literally too large to say a proper goodbye. This isn't just about being overweight anymore. It's about a soul so crushed by loss that it built a fortress of fat around itself for protection.
Nobody tell you that? Okay.
No one's gonna step on my toes.
Well, the dynamic seems to be that you get everyone to enable you.
You have got to be kidding me. When Dr. Now asks who does the cooking, Kenae proudly declares she runs the entire food operation for a house of 9 people. And, surprise, surprise, she's making everyone, including the children, overweight. This isn't a family. It's a codependent food cult with her as the high priestess. She uses them as a cover for her own addiction, creating a whole household of enablers so she never has to face the truth. It's absolute systemic madness, enabled by a spatula.
Okay, but the goal I'm giving you is to lose 75 pounds in 2 months, okay?
Is that feasible to lose?
Well, thank goodness Dr. Now doesn't just see a patient. He sees the entire dysfunctional ecosystem she's created. He lays it all out with zero sugarcoating, a 1,200 calorie diet, high protein, no carbs, and mandatory exercise. He's not just giving her a diet plan, he's handing her the only key that can unlock her from her prison. The question is, does she even have the strength left to turn it? He's the only voice of sanity in this whole chaotic mess.
All right. So, how's everything going with you?
Okay, I guess.
Okay. Well, in past 2 months, you lost 22 pounds.
Of course. The first follow-up appointment is an absolute train wreck. After 2 months, she's lost a pathetic 22 pounds. Barely anything. The excuses come pouring out immediately. A weak cascade of complaints about her diet and how she just can't follow the plan. Dr. Now's face says it all. He's looking at someone who isn't even trying. This isn't a struggle. It's a surrender. She heard the wake-up call and decided to hit the snooze button. You can't help someone who refuses to help themselves.
Hurt. They hurt because I was 600 pounds. They hurt because I have ruined them. All of this is my fault.
Okay, that's not motivation
wait,
for you.
Please.
Now this is the breakdown we needed to see. Pushed to the absolute brink by Dr. Now, Kenae finally cracks. But it's not the usual manipulative waterworks. This is a raw, guttural scream of accountability. She wails that it's her own fault that she's fat, a full-throated admission of responsibility that she has been avoiding for decades. This isn't a plea for pity, it's a confession. The denial has finally shattered, and in the rubble, maybe, just maybe, something new can finally be built. That's the turning point.
I bet you're wondering what took me so long to write or to talk to you. Honestly, I've been sad and angry. Life without you sucks.
After her therapy session, Kenae finally confronts the source of her pain. She gets in the car and does what her weight has forbidden for years. She goes to her mother's gravesite. Reading that letter aloud is more than just an assignment. It's an exorcism of 6 years of repressed grief and guilt. Every step from the car to that headstone was a victory. She's not just losing pounds anymore. She's shedding the immense weight of her sorrow, and it is a truly incredible thing to witness.
If he tells me this isn't a good thing, because it is a progress, and that's a good thing no matter what he says.
And there it is. The hard work pays off in a big way. Kenae steps on the scale, and the progress is undeniable. She has lost 71 pounds, smashing her goal, and for the first time, Dr. Now looks genuinely proud. He tells her she's just a few more pounds away from being approved for the life-saving surgery. This isn't just a number on a scale, it's validation. It's the tangible proof that her emotional breakthrough has triggered a real physical transformation. This is the moment she earned, one agonizing decision at a time.
I know I still have a lot of work to do to get to my goal, so I'm working hard to keep heading in a positive direction. You know, I'm working on my diet and my exercises every day.
In the end, the story isn't even about the surgery anymore. Though a heart condition puts the operation on hold, the victory is already won. Look at her. She's playing basketball with her nephews, going to church with her husband, and reclaiming pieces of her life she thought were gone forever. She realized that the goal wasn't a smaller stomach, it was a bigger life. Kenae is proof that even if the path changes, the journey to save yourself is always worth it. She did the work, period.
If I ever get to that point where I'm not going to bathe, then that's me saying I give up. And I don't want to let things get to that point, but it's still extremely hard for me to do.
We open on the usual scene of utter misery. Here we have Travis, a man so large that the simple act of bathing is a Herculean task requiring his wife, Yasmin, to act as a personal hygienist. You can see the shame radiating off him. This isn't living. It's a slow-motion suicide happening on a living room couch. He talks about his heart giving out, and frankly, you can see why. Every breath is a struggle, and every moment is just a prelude to the next meal that makes it all worse.
Until my dad left my mom, so my mother worked a lot to provide for her. Most of the time, all I had was my older brother, Gerard. So I could eat as much as I want, and there was no one there to stop me.
And here it is, the trauma origin story. A childhood soaked in the chaos of his parents' constant fighting, followed by his father leaving entirely. But the real twist of the knife? His older brother, his only real ally, abandons him to go live with that same father. You can practically see the moment his young mind decided food was the only thing that wouldn't leave him. This isn't just about being hungry, it's about filling a wound that has been...
So that's a primary issue we have to change if you want to lose weight. So if you can barely get around now, who takes care of you all day?
Festering since he was a little boy. Enter Dr. Now, the only person on this show who speaks the language of reality. He immediately cuts through the nonsense, telling Travis his body is on the verge of complete collapse. He doesn't just diagnose the physical problem, he targets the toxic dynamic with Yasmin, warning her that avoiding conflict is killing her husband. He sets the goal, a staggering 70 pounds loss in 2 months, establishing himself as the only source of sanity in this whole mess. The wake-up call has been delivered.
Do that, but I go to the store and get this stuff. Even when you don't ask for stuff, I get it for you, and I'm part of the damn problem, and that hurts.
Yasmin finally has her breakdown, the moment of clarity where she realizes she's not his caretaker, she's his primary enabler. She's the one buying the food, handing him the poison, and then getting angry that he's dying. It's the classic codependent cycle, mistaking placating his addiction for love. She's been an active participant in his destruction out of a desire to avoid conflict, and now that guilt is hitting her like a freight train, and honestly, about time.
It's at least a loss, but with how hard I've been working, I thought it'd be greater. So I wasn't expecting to see such a high number on the scale still.
Of course, the first big test arrives, and it's a complete failure. Travis steps on the scale, and he's lost a pathetic 24 pounds, not the 70 he was assigned. He mumbles something about cheating a little bit, which is like saying the Titanic had a minor leak. This isn't defiance, this is the raw power of addiction. His lifelong coping mechanism went head-to-head with Dr. Now's plan, and for this round, the addiction won. It's a harsh reminder that this journey is a brutal fight.
And this time I'm nervous. From how far off my weight loss was from last time from what I thought. This time I'm not sure what to expect. All I know is that I've been working my hardest.
Now this is the breakthrough. After the humiliation of his last visit, Travis actually did the work. He gets on the scale, and he hasn't just met the goal, he's crushed it, losing 77 pounds. Look at the pure, unadulterated relief on his face. This is the moment he proved to himself that he can do this. This wasn't just about changing his diet, this was a fundamental emotional shift. He finally decided that living was more important than eating his feelings. That's a real victory.
The psychological issue that drove you to eat is going to come to surface. So your cravings are only going to get worse until you deal with the issues that have been behind your drive to eat most of your life.
Just as things look good, Dr. Now delivers another dose of tough love. Travis's post-surgery weight loss stalls, and Dr. Now immediately identifies the real problem, the unaddressed psychological issues. He tells him point blank that the surgery is just a tool, and without therapy to fix what's broken in his head, he will fail. This isn't a threat, it's a prescription. He's forcing Travis to stop focusing on his stomach and start focusing on the emotional baggage that's still weighing him down.
I realized that I was blaming you for something you had no control over. It had nothing to do with you. You were just a kid too, you know, and I know talking these things out really helps.
This is the real work. Forget the scale, forget the surgery. This phone call is the most important step he's taken. Travis confronts the pain of his past by talking to his brother, admitting he blamed him for years of hurt. By letting go of that bitterness and apologizing, he's performing emotional surgery on himself. He's removing a toxic resentment that has fueled his addiction for decades. This shows a level of maturity and self-awareness that proves he is truly, finally healing from the inside out.
But I'm really excited because I haven't been to the movies in over 7 years. Going anywhere like this would have been a disaster because I wouldn't have been able to fit in the seats. So doing this shows how far I've come. I'm getting around without getting winded and without getting out of breath.
And here is the payoff. After a full year, Travis is taking his wife on a date to the movies, something he hasn't been able to do in 7 years. Why? Because he literally couldn't fit in the seat. Now, he slides right in. This simple, normal act is the ultimate symbol of his success. It's not just about losing over 200 pounds, it's about reclaiming a life. He's no longer a prisoner in his own body. He is finally free, and it is incredible to watch.
And the reason why I do it that way is because I can only stand up for about 5 minutes. And I have slipped and fallen in the tub before. So I try to take as much measures.
Okay, we are diving right into the deep end of misery. Antrion's daily routine is a carefully managed symphony of pain and exhaustion. He has to do a pre-wash while sitting on a stool because he can't stand in the shower for more than 5 minutes. A shower is a monumental task that wipes him out completely. Imagine the simple act of getting clean being the most athletic thing you do all day. How is this living? This isn't a life. It's a prison sentence he's serving inside his own body.
My grandfather up and had a stroke and died. And food definitely became more of a comfort. So dealing with the grief of that.
And here is the trauma that kickstarts the whole disaster. His grandfather dies from a stroke when he's just 12. Then his estranged father dies of a heart attack. The emotional void left behind becomes a black hole he tries to fill with food. It's the classic playbook, turning grief into gluttony because nobody taught him another way to cope. It's sad, sure, but it also explains the 30-year pattern of self-destruction. The foundation was built on pain, and food was the only building material he had.
It's good for you, John.
You didn't put that back. We don't eat rabbit food. We're moving. She's been watching out and she wants to be healthy.
Oh look, it's the enabler-in-chief. His wife, Musa. In the grocery store, he's like a kid begging for candy, and she's the long-suffering parent. He wants sweets, and she has to physically stop him. But then she's getting him a chair to rest in the middle of the aisle. You're watching a tug-of-war where one side is an addict's craving, and the other is a spouse's weak attempt at discipline. Spoiler alert, the addiction always wins when the enabler is this exhausted. This whole dynamic is just broken.
So to get you started, I'm going to give you a 1,200 calorie diet that is high protein, low carb. I'm going to walk you through it, and I want you to start that immediately.
Thank heavens Dr. Now has arrived to slice through the nonsense with his scalpel of truth. He listens to Antrion's vague promises and instantly sees through the act. He calls him out, telling him that words are meaningless without action. He hands him the 1,200 calorie diet and a set of exercises, making it crystal clear that there's no magic pill. It's about time someone spoke a language this man can't ignore. The rules are set. The game is on. Now, let's see how fast he breaks them.
I know that me and my wife, we discussed about protein shakes, and I know that I've been drinking some protein shakes. And
are you even surprised? Of course not. At the follow-up, Musa spills the beans immediately. He lasted a whole 3 days on the diet before deciding he knew better. He started guzzling protein shakes and eating peanut butter, claiming it was part of the plan. He's not just cheating, he's rewriting the rule book to justify his addiction. He's arguing with the one person trying to help him, using pure delusion as his defense. The self-sabotage is already running at full throttle. This is just pathetic.
And find a way to figure out what is behind all those emotional issues that run starving to eat. And at this point, we've done all we can, but you haven't responded to it.
After getting caught in his lies and gaining even more weight, here comes the waterworks. He talks about his frustration, his disappointment, how this hurts him more than anyone. This isn't a breakthrough, it's a performance. He's trying to generate sympathy to deflect from the fact that he has done absolutely nothing. Crying is not a substitute for dieting, and feeling frustrated doesn't burn calories. It's a textbook manipulation tactic to make everyone feel sorry for him, so they'll back off. I'm not buying it for a second.
The one to follow the instruction and do the right thing for your own good to save your life. If you don't want to save your life, kill yourself with the food.
Dr. Now is done playing games. He lays it out in the starkest terms possible. This isn't just about weight loss. It's a life or death situation. He tells Antrion that with his health issues, who knows if he'll even be alive in 4 months. A simple cold or a sprained ankle could lead to him being bedridden, which would be the end. This is the brutal, unfiltered reality check Antrion has been avoiding. It's a final warning shot, a plea for him to wake up before he ends up in a casket.
So I decided to grab me something sweet to help me out with that process. It's the little reward that'll help me stay focused. So David wrote the book of Psalms.
So his therapy, homework, is to write a sermon about grief. And how does he prepare? By going to a coffee shop and ordering a massive sugary drink and a cinnamon bun. This is supposed to be his moment of emotional reckoning, and he's using it as an excuse to indulge. He's literally medicating his feelings with sugar while supposedly working through them. Do you see the insanity here? This isn't progress. It's just the same destructive cycle wrapped in a religious-themed package. Utterly delusional.
Okay, we're gonna go to room 5.
It feels like no matter what I do, it's not gonna be good enough. I can't help but feel that I messed up my chances because I know that Dr. Now would not be happy.
The grand finale. After 7 months of trying, he steps on the scale one last time. And the verdict? He weighs more now than when he first walked in. He has gained weight. It's a total, catastrophic failure. Dr. Now finally dismisses him from the program because you can't help someone who refuses to help themselves. Antrion wasted everyone's time, including his own. He was given the tools to save his life and chose to eat himself to death instead. A truly hopeless case. Period. On My 600-Pound Life, we've seen stories of unimaginable struggle, but also of incredible strength. These are the journeys that touch hearts, inspire hope, and remind us that change is always possible. Each person faced the impossible and proved that the human spirit can rise above anything. Today, we're revisiting the My 600-Pound Life stories that will truly leave you in awe. For Crystal, food is love, her way of showing care and comfort. But beneath that comfort lies a dangerous truth. Every meal she indulges in slowly pulls her closer to the edge. Deep down, she knows what's happening, but change feels impossible. Her emotions are tangled with her appetite, her pain hidden behind every bite. Each morning, she wakes with aches that remind her how much her body is struggling to keep up. Still, she tells herself tomorrow will be different. This is where her fight begins.
Every single part of me hurts. It can be excruciating at times. The ankle pain, the back pain, the knee pain, but legs and feet are the worst. It's like being almost 80 years old and full of aches and pains.
Crystal's husband stands beside her through everything, her pain, her exhaustion, and the countless days that begin with tears. She describes how hard it is just to wake up, to breathe, to move, yet somehow she keeps pushing forward. Her strength isn't loud or dramatic, it's quiet, persistent, and deeply human. Even when every step feels unbearable, she still finds ways to smile. Watching her endure so much without giving up makes you realize how powerful her will to survive truly is, even when her body constantly betrays her.
Crystal and I have been married for almost 2 years. Best decision of my life. Crystal is an amazing, strong, hardworking woman. Even despite the fact she has to deal with all the pain, all the weight.
Her husband admires her for a reason. Despite her weight, Crystal still gets up every morning, goes to work, and takes care of her home. He says she manages to smile through the pain, and that simple truth speaks volumes. Most people in her situation might have given up long ago, but she hasn't. It's not laziness keeping her down. It's the emotional burden she carries. Her determination, though quiet, is inspiring. It reminds you that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a woman refusing to let life break her.
Here, put this on the table. So, my grandmother raised me. She was a very loving, very strict grandma, and she had a temper. Yeah, can you clean the table off and put the cheese back in the fridge? I was always anxious at home because I just did not want to provoke my grandmother.
Her family gatherings are filled with laughter and warmth. They truly love each other, and their bond feels real. But then the camera pans to Crystal's plate and reality strikes. It's overflowing with food. The same joy that fills the room also feeds her pain. Food isn't just something she eats. It's her safety net, her escape, her comfort when the world feels too heavy. The smiles around her can't hide the truth. This love of food, born from old wounds, could easily become the reason she doesn't survive.
When I ended up pregnant, it was a shock to the whole family. My daughter's father, he's 17 years my senior. The first time I had, intercourse is when I got pregnant. My grandmother at that point encouraged abortion.
It's impossible to judge Crystal once you hear her story. When she became pregnant with her first child, her grandmother told her to end it, words that shattered her heart. That moment planted a pain so deep it never healed. Food became her only comfort, her only way to silence the hurt. Every bite reminded her that she was still here, still in control of something, even when the world seemed against her. What looks like indulgence from the outside is really a quiet, desperate attempt to escape old trauma.
Because Crystal is an amazing friend. She's been there with me through a lot. I like to see Crystal happy. If the food makes her happy, whatever. Yeah, be good.
Despite everything, Crystal refuses to be defined by her size. Many people her weight can't even stand, but she still moves, still fights, still shows up for her kids. Her body aches with every step, but her love for her children is stronger than her pain. You can see how much she adores them in every glance and laugh. Her life is full of struggle, yet she never lets it steal her joy. She may carry hundreds of pounds, but the heaviest thing she bears is her determination to keep living.
Crystal. Hello. I'm a little nervous because it's pretty intimidating to be meeting Dr. Now. But I hope he's impressed with the progress that I've already been trying to. I was 620 pounds the last time I was weighed.
When Crystal steps onto the hospital scale, the numbers flash. 592 pounds. The look on her face says everything. Shock, disappointment, fear. She's standing at the edge of a truth she's avoided for too long. It's not just about the number, it's about the years of pain that brought her here. For the first time, she truly sees what her body has become. That realization is both terrifying and freeing. She's ready to change, but she knows it's going to take more than hope. It'll take strength she's never found before.
For her to start losing weight, he seems to want to motivate her to get healthy, and that should be a good influence on her. But ultimately, the only factor that is going to matter is
Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells Crystal exactly what she needs to hear. If she wants surgery, she must start losing weight right now. But unlike many patients, she isn't alone. Her husband stands beside her, determined to help her through every step. Dr. Now sees potential in her, not just because she's strong, but because she's loved. For the first time in years, Crystal believes maybe she can actually do this. That spark of belief is small, but it's enough to light the beginning of real change.
Yeah, so
This is definitely where you want to start. Let's do this. Yeah, you just stay on the sides so whenever it's going, you don't...
Mark, this ain't my first time. Let's do this. Come on. Low would be the best.
Something incredible happens. Crystal begins to transform. With her husband's help, she starts eating better, walking more, and smiling again. The workouts are painful, but she doesn't stop. Each step forward feels like reclaiming a piece of her life. For so long, food controlled her, but now she's the one in charge. Her laughter feels lighter, her spirit brighter. It's not just weight she's losing, it's years of guilt and self-doubt melting away. For the first time in forever, she's proud of herself, and it shows.
You got this side, you get the next.
I'm trying. It is a big effort. It is hard, but it's worth it to keep going.
We did it once, we can do it again.
And finally, after months of determination, Dr. Now gives her the news she's been waiting for. She's approved for weight loss surgery. The tears in her eyes say everything. This moment isn't just about health, it's about redemption. Every ounce of pain, every struggle, every sleepless night led her here. Crystal proved that change isn't impossible. It's just unbelievably hard. As she smiles through her tears, you can tell this is more than a victory. It's the moment she finally learns to love herself again, truly and fully.
Crystal is going to be on a good diet for a month, and she should be able to lose 30 pounds in the first month, and then after 20 to 25 pounds each one, until she gets closer to her target weight.
Amber's story is one of heartbreak and determination. At just 23 years old, Amber weighs over 650 pounds. When Dr. Now meets her, he bluntly tells her that her parents are partly to blame for her condition, and that if she doesn't act soon, she might only have months left to live. It's a terrifying truth to face at her age, but Amber refuses to let that be the end of her story. She is determined to fight back, no matter how hard it gets.
I am so limited in what I can do and where I can go. I have to do a bath downstairs most of the time. I'm miserable.
Who wouldn't feel trapped in that body? Every moment of Amber's life feels like a punishment. She doesn't want to be this person. She hates looking at herself, hates existing in pain, and sometimes even wishes she hadn't been born. It's hard to imagine living every single day in such despair, where even a breath feels heavy and hope feels out of reach. For Amber, it's not just her body that's suffocating her, it's her entire life.
I don't have to think about the way I let those around me down if I'm eating. It's a distraction.
Amber's anxiety, worrisome food helps calm her down.
Her eating habits are completely out of control. Amber admits she eats large meals 5 or 6 times a day, sometimes even more. Snacks fill the hours in between. She's constantly feeding the hunger that never goes away, trying to fill an emptiness that food can't actually fix. You might wonder how things got this bad. Amber explains that her relationship with food started early, and the comfort she found in eating became the only thing that made her feel safe when everything else fell apart.
I was a little kid that didn't know how to take care of myself emotionally or physically. I knew that people expressed love to me by giving me treats.
It's heartbreaking to think about, but it's the reality many people like Amber face. By the time she graduated from high school, she already weighed over 400 pounds. Depression took over, she dropped out of college, and the weight piled on even faster. Every step she took away from her goals seemed to bring her closer to hopelessness. Now she finds herself stuck in a body she can barely move, reflecting on how far things have spiraled out of control and how badly she wants her life back.
Failed myself and my parents.
She always felt like she didn't live up to our expectations, and she was always a disappointment to us.
My legs are too weak.
She just became a typical...
Can you even imagine spending a day in her life? But here's where things begin to change. Amber decides she's done living this way. She's ready to fight for herself, no matter how painful it gets. To do that, she needs to meet Dr. Now in Houston, Texas. Just flying there is a challenge. She has to buy 2 plane seats to fit. When she finally arrives,
anything you can find that's easy to get at.
Yeah, I like ice cream. I like anything.
Who buys ice cream and all those things?
Dr. Now wastes no time telling her the truth about her condition. The look on his face says it all. Dr. Now tells Amber something she already knows deep down. Her biggest problem isn't just food, it's the people around her. Her parents enable her to stay trapped in this destructive lifestyle. Imagine realizing that the people who love you most are the same ones keeping you stuck. Dr. Now doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tells Amber and her parents that unless they all change, she will die young. It's harsh, but it's exactly what she needs to hear.
Surgery is going to be an option for him. If she does not change the dynamic and lose some weight, I may not be able to help. I need you to lose 20 pounds over next month.
Amber decides to take that harsh truth and use it as fuel. Her family moves with her to Houston so she can be closer to Dr. Now and focus on her recovery. It's ironic, though, the same enablers who contributed to her downfall are now part of her new beginning. But surprisingly, something starts to shift. Amber begins to take accountability, follows the plan, and slowly but surely the weight starts to come off. You can finally see hope in her eyes.
I'm happy that the scale's reflecting that progress. I hope the doctor agrees and approves me for surgery.
Hello.
Hey there.
How y'all doing?
And then the transformation truly begins. Amber undergoes gastric bypass surgery, and from there, everything starts to accelerate. The pounds melt away, over 350 of them gone by the end of her journey. The best part? Amber finally feels free. She's no longer trapped in her own body. For the first time in years, she can walk, move, and even drive herself. Amber's story is a reminder that no matter how dark life gets, change is always possible when you decide to fight for yourself.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Now.
I see you lost some more weight. I'm glad to see that you're making good progress. Amber's done a great job. More and more, she's becoming independent. I'm proud of Amber sticking with the program.
This is Rose's story. She is 58 years old and has almost no clue about her exact weight. Each morning, she wakes up and thanks God for another day because often she fears she might not make it. Pain is her constant companion, and on some days she finds herself crying almost every minute. Her life has become extremely challenging, and simple tasks feel impossible. Can Dr. Now help her regain her health and energy? Let's find out as Rose begins this difficult journey.
When I first go to stand up, I can't hardly stand up. My back's hurting so bad.
Even getting out of bed is a challenge for Rose, and her mornings are a test of endurance and patience. Luckily, she has the love and support of her family, particularly her grandson, who enjoys helping her whenever he can. Still, her increasing weight has become a major concern for everyone around her. Her grandson fears that without intervention, her health might rapidly deteriorate. Rose's struggle is both physical and emotional, and it's clear that if she doesn't make a serious effort soon, the consequences could be life-threatening.
It makes me very, very unhappy that I can't do things on my own and I can't get around on my own.
You're gonna go ahead and lay down and I'll go ahead and get your breakfast and stuff ready for you.
Okay, babe.
Rose has endured trauma from a young age, which has shaped her relationship with food. Losing her mother early on left her feeling abandoned, and her stepfather's criminal lifestyle only made things worse. She turned to food for comfort, a coping mechanism that eventually spiraled out of control. To make matters worse, her marriage was rocked when her husband had an affair with her best friend of 22 years, leaving Rose heartbroken. These compounding events created a cycle of stress, sadness, and overeating, leaving her trapped in a body that feels more like a prison every single day.
And I just started bawling. He put my ring on my finger.
When I first met her, I didn't know what to make of her because she was a little bit of a wild child back then.
Despite everything, Rose eventually found love again and someone who cherishes her for who she is. Yet, her weight has become a barrier, making her feel insecure and fearful that her husband's love could falter. She worries about repeating the mistakes of her past marriage, which ended with betrayal. However, she is motivated to change for herself and for those who care about her. She knows the road ahead will be difficult, but she is ready to make a commitment to her health. Rose is preparing to meet Dr. Now and start the journey toward transformation.
I'm excited, but I'm nervous because I don't know what he's got in store for me, but I know whatever he's got in store for me to lose this weight, that's what I'm gonna do.
Rose's family surrounds her with love and encouragement as she embarks on the trip to Houston to see Dr. Now. The journey itself proves painful, forcing her to stop overnight at a hotel due to physical strain. Even brief moments of movement are difficult, but having her family nearby gives her strength. The trip illustrates just how much her weight affects her mobility and health, yet her determination is evident. Every small step she takes, even under these challenging conditions, demonstrates her willingness to do what it takes to regain control over her body and her life.
I'm here at Dr. Now's clinic for the very first time. I haven't weighed myself in about 20 years, and I've been avoiding it for a reason.
Arriving at the hospital, Rose faces the scale and the harsh reality of her weight, which is dangerously close to 600 pounds. For someone her age, this is a significant risk to her health. Dr. Now evaluates her condition carefully, noting both the physical and emotional toll of her weight. While Rose shows genuine commitment to changing, the doctor needs to ensure her motivation is real and sustainable. The challenge ahead is substantial, but Rose's acknowledgement of her unhealthy habits and willingness to confront them is a positive step toward reclaiming her life and health.
That's how dedicated I am to doing this.
And I'm gonna be strict too, so.
Yes.
Rose certainly seems like a handful with her personality and on the comments she makes.
Dr. Now sets a clear goal. Rose must lose 50 pounds within 2 months to qualify for weight loss surgery. She expresses confidence in her ability to meet this target. Though the reality of changing long-standing habits is never simple, the journey will demand focus, discipline, and perseverance. Rose's willingness to try gives her a fighting chance, and her family's support provides additional motivation. While doubts linger about the difficulty of achieving the goal, there is hope that this structured approach and her determination will allow her to succeed and take the next critical step toward surgery.
I was 5'6" at my last minus 50 pounds in 2 months is 514. So that's what I'm hoping to see.
In a remarkable display of commitment, Rose surpasses expectations and loses more than 50 pounds within 2 weeks. Her rapid progress impresses Dr. Now and demonstrates her determination and resilience. With this success, she is approved for weight loss surgery and prepares to relocate to Texas for the procedure. While her family worries about not being present during surgery, Rose's accomplishment is undeniable. She has overcome immense physical and emotional challenges, showing that with determination, support, and guidance, even the most daunting obstacles can be faced and conquered. Her journey is far from over, but she has taken a major step forward.
Well, here I am in the pre-op room. I'm fixing to get my surgery, and I'm nervous, excited, anxious, but happy.
Delana is at a point in her life where she can't move enough to do anything anymore. The first thought that goes through her head every day when she wakes up is the fact that she made it to another day. Imagine that. Sometimes you just wonder how people allow themselves to get to this level. Is this going to be her wake-up call to get better? I guess we'll find out. This is how Delana's story begins.
Hey, baby, gotta move.
And I know as soon as I sit up that the pain's gonna start, and it's just the same way all day. Pain, pain, pain.
An office chair to move around in. Oh my goodness. That has to be the most painful and worst thing that can ever happen to anyone. Having to roll to the bathroom even sounds like a task that could take an entire day. Poor Delana. What I love about her relationship with her husband is the fact that he wants to always be there for her. Her husband says that he hates to see Delana in pain, and that's why he is always there to make sure that he can help her with anything and everything that she might need. What a sweet man he is.
So swollen together that you can't even get your hand in between them. So I have a back scrubber brush.
All that stress to have her bath. Wow, if it was this painful, I'm pretty sure I won't even step out of bed. That just goes to show you that she's a strong woman. I just hope things don't get too bad before she decides to start making changes. Sadly, all she ever thinks about doing is eating. It's almost as if when she doesn't eat, her lifespan shortens by half. The only thing that brings her joy after having an excruciating morning from having her bath is eating so much food. She says that it makes her happy and brings back the feeling of euphoria. I wonder what happened that made her love food this much.
When my mom dropped me off, everybody was really excited and really happy, and I was overly excited to be home. My cousin's name is Marianne, although to me, she's mom. She felt guilty because of what happened where I was taken.
That explains why she loves food so much. That's honestly how it starts. Once there's no one to control the eating habit, things just take a side turn, and that's what happened to Delana. It's just sad that she didn't get to spend enough time with her mother. Sadly, the trauma does not end there. There's more. She had a boyfriend who was abusive and she got pregnant for him. The abusive behavior got so bad that she had to kick him out. But when she gave birth to the baby, it was stillborn, full time. That must have been hard.
I had met a gentleman who didn't think that my weight was an issue, and I ended up getting pregnant with his child. We got married, and I had a perfectly healthy baby boy.
I'm really glad to hear that she started a weight loss class. It's not surprising that she turned to food as an escape given all the things she has been through. Once again, we can see that Delana is an extraordinary woman. It's high time she paid the doc a visit. But we all know the doc hates one thing, and that is when someone who should help the patient get better becomes the patient's enabler. Oh, you can bet the doc is not going to be happy when he hears that. Regardless, it's good he is worried about his wife's health.
Hey, no, but I'm here.
What can I do to help you?
Call the fire department.
I mean, we've got to do what's best for you.
Green County 911.
We need an ambulance.
If that happened to me, I'd probably never step out of my house again. Delana was trying to go out with her husband and mother when she fell down the stairs. Now they have to get an ambulance to help pick her up from the house and get her back into the house. The good part is that they were able to get her back into the house without any serious injuries. At this point, Delana should really get things together and try to meet up with Dr. Now before she actually can't walk again.
Because I hate seeing how high that number gets each time. So I've avoided it for a long time now. The last time I weighed, I was still in the 500s.
You okay?
Nervous anxious.
Okay, that's on the high side, and Delana is not happy about what she just saw. From the way she screamed after seeing the digits, you can tell she was shocked by what she saw. She made it to the hospital, and her weight reads a lot above 600 pounds. Can she really lose weight? Oh well, Dr. Now pretty much said everything I was thinking. Delana needs to show him that she is ready to lose weight before he approves her for weight loss surgery. He wants her to lose 50 pounds within 2 months, and only then will she be approved for weight loss surgery.
Lately, life has been pretty stressful. The car still isn't fixed, and now it's starting to hold us up in terms of moving to Houston. On top of that, we haven't found a place yet either.
Missing the appointment is not a good sign, but then again, it's not like it's her fault. Their car is still at the shop getting fixed, and they have no means of getting down to Texas to continue with the weight loss journey. Now she wants to speak to the doc to give him an update about how things have been going.
I'm gonna go before it gets any worse. I love you, Delana. Love you, James.
Me too.
Y'all take care.
I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point.
This is so sad. Delana still hasn't gotten her truck fixed and still doesn't have a way of getting to Texas. She asked her mother for help, and sadly her mother said that she can't move down to Texas with Delana. This is to be the worst thing ever. Almost feels like she has been abandoned by everyone except her husband.
Once my mom told me that she wasn't able to make it, I made a phone call to my brother who lives in North Carolina. He takes care of my elderly mother, the one who adopted me.
Phew, finally. For a second there, I honestly thought she was not going to find a way to make it to the hospital. Thank goodness she has such a sweet brother who is ready to do anything to make sure that Delana makes it through her weight loss journey. The fact that she finally made the mark makes me so happy. We all know she gave it all she had, and that was not an easy thing to do. It took her a long time, but she eventually did lose more than 50 pounds. Moving down to Texas was not an easy thing, but she pulled it off, and she is the better for it. Let's see if Dr. Now is going to approve her surgery.
All right, then stick with doing that, and if you do it that way, then we proceed with your weight loss surgery, okay?
All right.
Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, wish you good luck with your eating habit and stick with that, and we are proud of your progress.
Things don't always go as planned on my 600-pound life. Sometimes emotions explode, tempers flare, and situations spiral completely out of control. These moments shocked fans, stunned Dr. Now, and proved that not every journey can be tamed. Today, we're diving into the most out-of-control moments ever caught on my 600-pound life. This is Che's story. Che happens to be so fat that he feels like if he adds any more weight to his body, that could be the end of the line for him. Che is a 23-year-old guy who weighs about 597 pounds. He struggles every single day to do the most basic of things and hates himself for becoming this fat. He is constantly in pain, and even breathing feels like torture. Will he win his battle against obesity? I guess we'll see. Here is how his journey begins.
I hate my life. I'm so miserable. I hurt all the time.
I would honestly lose my mind if I had this much difficulty having my bath. Sadly, Che beats himself up every day, wondering why he allowed himself to become this big. He says his life feels like punishment for every bad decision he has ever made. The simple act of standing up from a chair takes everything out of him. He gasps for air, drenched in sweat, and it's clear he's fighting just to exist. It's heartbreaking to watch, but that's his everyday life.
I'm 23 years old, and I can hardly take care of myself anymore.
He did not just say his grandmother depends on him. How can she depend on him when he looks like a ball and can't even pick himself up from the couch? Wow, at least he knows that if he wants to be useful to her, he has to do better with himself. His grandmother loves him dearly, but even she can't hide the worry anymore. Watching someone you love slowly destroy themselves through food must be one of the hardest things to deal with.
I've always loved food. As far back as I can remember, food has always been there for me.
Of course he is hungry. That's the same behavior that got him to this size in the first place. What's devastating about Che's situation is the fact that he's just 23 years old. Even his grandmother says that she knows he's getting to a point where he won't be able to do anything for himself anymore. She's scared she might lose him sooner than expected. The truth is, if he doesn't make drastic changes soon, her worst fears could become reality.
I've always loved food. I had a very dark childhood. My mom mom and my stepdad, they would get drunk and they would take their frustrations out on me. My mother told me the only reason I was born was because the condom broke. That made me feel...
Ouch. That has got to be the most heartbreaking thing you could ever say to a child. I would hate myself if my mom ever said something like that to me. Che says that whenever his parents were angry at each other, they would always take it out on him. Growing up in that kind of toxic environment must have been horrible. It's no surprise he turned to food for comfort. It was the only thing that never shouted at him or made him feel small.
If I could do it over, I would have took him when he was born. Would have quit my job and raised him, and I'd have took him when he was born.
That's honestly very sad. Che says that his mom was arrested while he was young, and he had to move in with his grandparents. Sadly, they never really cared about what he was eating. Whatever he wanted, he got. If he asked for pizza, burgers, or ice cream, they gave it to him out of love. They didn't realize they were feeding his addiction. Fast forward to now, and he's paying the price, weighing over 600 pounds and struggling to stay alive every single day.
For months, I'll be so big that I can't go out anymore.
You got your lip?
Yeah, I'm gone. I hardly go out as it is.
I'm honestly surprised he can drive. Weighing over 600 pounds and looking like a giant ball, it's shocking that he can even fit into the car. But it makes perfect sense when he says he hates going out. People stare, whisper, and make comments that break him inside. The humiliation is too much to handle. He would rather stay home than deal with the constant judgment that comes from the outside world. It's honestly a painful way to live your life.
It's very difficult. If you're addicted to gambling, don't go to casinos.
I mean, it's a weird way to look at it, but he isn't wrong. Food addiction is way different from other addictions because food is something you actually need to survive. You can't just quit cold turkey like other addicts. But when the line between survival and obsession blurs, it becomes deadly. Che admits he's addicted, but the real question is whether he's ready to fight for his life before it's too late. Personally, I have my doubts.
Houston is 4 hours away.
You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Don't worry, Che. Dr. Now is not going to chase you away. The only way that would happen is if you prove you can't lose some weight, and that would be devastating. He finally builds the courage to visit the doctor and promises to change his life for good. For the first time in a long while, he feels hopeful. It's clear that this journey won't be easy, but at least he's willing to try. That's the first big step.
I'm scared I won't be able to do it. This should be interesting. Wow. I knew I was close to 600 pounds.
He can't be serious. With all that eating, he's lucky he isn't over 600 pounds. Even I thought he weighed more than that, given how hard it was for him to fit into the car. It's surprising, honestly. But numbers aside, what matters now is how much effort he's willing to put in. If he keeps eating like he always has, no miracle will save him. Let's see what Dr. Now has to say about his condition and attitude toward food.
Have you tried to change your eating habit?
I have in the past, yes, I've tried off and on.
Dr. Now is not beating around the bush with Che at all. He tells him straight up that he's treating the surgery like a shortcut. Newsflash, it doesn't work that way. If Che wants to lose weight and live a healthy life, he's going to have to earn it. No one else can do it for him. He needs to start being accountable and stop hiding behind excuses. This is his last chance to turn things around before it's too late.
She will not get weight loss surgery.
I know I'm gonna have to change a lot of things about my diet.
Thank goodness he knows that. If he doesn't lose the weight soon, his health could go down the drain fast. Dr. Now wants him to lose 49 pounds in 2 months, which honestly sounds like an impossible task. But impossible or not, Che needs to prove to himself that he can do it. This is his make or break moment. He either changes his life for good or continues down a road that ends in complete destruction. The choice is his.
It's a lot and it's excruciating to go far. It's just a little bit. The only reason I'm willing to push through and do this.
Che seems determined to lose those 49 pounds. As he begins working out with his cousin, he realizes this journey isn't going to be easy. Every movement hurts, every step feels like a mile, and the cravings hit harder than ever. But despite the pain, he keeps pushing forward. For someone who's always turned to food for comfort, this is an entirely new experience. One filled with discipline, frustration, and hope. Maybe this time he'll finally get it right.
I'm really devastated right now. My grandma suffered a heart attack and there was nothing anybody could do about it.
That has to be devastating. I wouldn't want to be in Che's shoes right now. His biggest supporter, the one person who always acted like his mother, passes away. The loss crushes him completely. She was the one who believed he could do it, the one who cheered him on when everyone else doubted him. Now that she's gone, he's left with nothing but pain and emptiness. I really hope this doesn't make him spiral out of control.
God bless you. This will conclude our service.
I'm just so lost right now.
And just like that, he goes back to the only comfort he's ever known, food. It was almost expected, but still hard to watch. The grief, the loneliness, and the despair all come crashing down. And before long, he's eating his pain away again. You can already tell Dr. Now won't be happy about this setback. But then again, it's hard to blame him entirely. Grief can be cruel, and sometimes food feels like the only thing keeping you alive.
Achieve so many things. I wanted her to be there with me, but now all I have left is memories.
Someone please tell him this is not going to end well. Yes, he's grieving, but he's also putting his health on the line. It's been 4 months since his last visit to Dr. Now, and things are not looking good. He's been isolating himself, avoiding calls, and pretending everything's fine. Deep down, he knows he's slipping. The longer he hides, the harder it'll be to get back on track. He's running out of chances, and time is ticking fast.
I've hardly lost. I can't believe this. I thought I had done so much better.
So much better? Is he trying to be funny? It's like he's in denial about his situation. I'm surprised he hasn't gained even more weight with how much he's been eating. Thinking he's lost weight is pure delusion at this point. When he finally steps on the scale, reality hits him hard. The numbers don't lie, and I'm sure Dr. Now won't sugarcoat the truth. It's going to be a rough conversation, but it's one he desperately needs.
He's using stress and emotion as an excuse to eat.
Jay is unbelievable right now. He's furious because Dr. Now told him the truth, that he's making excuses and not taking responsibility. Instead of accepting it, he storms off and says he's done with the program. It's both sad and frustrating to watch. He's letting his emotions control him again, just like before. It's like he's choosing failure over progress. Hopefully, once he cools off, he'll realize that giving up now would destroy everything he's worked for.
How are you feeling at this point?
Good.
Good. All right, we're gonna head on over here. We're gonna do...
I'm impressed by what I see. Looks like he didn't mean any of what he said earlier. He's back, and this time, he's putting in the work. Jay starts focusing on his diet and pushing himself harder every single day. You can actually see the difference in his face and movement. For the first time in a long time, he's proud of himself. His grandmother would have been so proud of how far he's come on this tough journey.
Everything is riding on this way in.
That's crazy.
I can't believe how much I've lost.
Isn't that just beautiful to hear? After everything he's been through, the heartbreak, the loss, the pain, he finally makes it. Jay puts in the effort, follows Dr. Now's plan, and earns his surgery approval. It's a long road ahead, but this is the biggest step he's ever taken toward freedom. Everyone around him is proud, and so are we. It's proof that even when life knocks you down, you can still fight your way back up.
It'll be a process, but right now the important thing is he's ready to start.
Destinee's story will leave you speechless. At over 600 pounds, this transgender woman lives every day in a body that feels more like a cage than a home. She fears that one day her own weight will completely trap her, ending her life too soon. Every morning is a fight between who she is and what her body allows her to be. But no matter how painful it gets, Destinee refuses to surrender. This journey could be her final chance, and she's ready to fight for survival.
To walk now. My mobility is really limited. I can only take maybe 5 steps. I'm out of breath.
Imagine being so heavy that even taking a bath turns into a terrifying experience. Destinee once got stuck in the bathtub, helpless and ashamed. Just 5 steps leave her breathless, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. Each movement is agony. Each day, a new battle with her own body. She looks at her reflection, barely recognizing the person she's become. Yet somewhere inside, a quiet voice whispers that she deserves more than this pain, that she's still worth saving.
To give me peace of mind, knowing I have help if something does happen.
No, bring me a towel, please.
Thankfully, Destinee isn't alone in this nightmare. Her sister stands by her side, caring for her, helping her do things most people never think twice about, like getting dressed or preparing food. Without her, life would be unbearable. Still, even with support, the weight of it all feels crushing. How did things spiral so far out of control? How did food, once her comfort, become her prison? Every day she looks for answers, hoping one day the mirror will reflect her true self again.
Food is the only happiness I have in my life. It's my escape. And when I have something that tastes good in my mouth, all I care about is that I feel good.
Destinee's habits are destroying her, and deep down, she knows it. The endless eating, the late-night binges, they're slowly killing her. She admits that she's terrified of what might happen if she doesn't stop. The truth is brutal. She's hanging by a thread. One more year of this lifestyle, and her body might give out completely. It's heartbreaking to watch her fight a battle against herself, but what's even more tragic is that she knows she's running out of time to change.
That lifestyle caught up with her,
her, and social services got involved. And all three of us ended up in foster care by the time I was 4. And my mom was forced to give up custody of us.
Her childhood holds the key to all this pain. When her father walked out, her world crumbled. Destinee, her mother, and her brothers were left to fend for themselves before landing in foster care. For a little girl, that kind of instability cuts deep. Food became her only comfort, the one thing that never abandoned her. Every bite quieted the sadness, even if just for a moment, but that relief came with a heavy price, one that would haunt her for years to come.
Around every couple months. But a couple years after I was put in foster care of my mama, she had to go to jail for a couple years.
As if things weren't hard enough, Destinee was eventually separated from her brothers, the only family she had left. Not being able to talk to her mother broke her heart even more. The loneliness was unbearable. Imagine losing everyone you love and still having to face the world alone. For Destinee, each day felt like punishment. She ate to fill the emptiness, but nothing ever truly worked. Despite the heartbreak, somewhere inside, she held on to the smallest flicker of hope.
The only thing I could trust to be there for me was food. So I just kept eating and gaining even faster. And by the time I was 15,
when she came out as gay, she thought it would be her liberation. Instead, it brought her more pain. The people she expected to stand by her turned their backs, leaving her more isolated than ever. That rejection cut deeper than any physical wound. With nowhere to turn, food became her refuge once again. Each pound added to her body felt like a layer of protection, but it was also a wall keeping her from the happiness she desperately longed for.
me and Anthony had gotten close as brothers while I lived with my mom. And so we had moved out on our own together.
Then came the final blow, losing her brother. The grief was unimaginable. He had been her anchor, her reason to keep going. Without him, the darkness swallowed her whole. Every breath felt heavy, every day unbearable. She tried to find comfort where she always had, in food, but it only deepened her sorrow. The loss shattered her completely. Yet somehow, buried beneath all the pain, a part of her still dreamed of finding peace one day.
So we're staying in Houston for the night and then coming back. But it's still gonna be a lot for me. So I'm really nervous. And a lot of things are going through my head.
Even through the tears, Destinee finds the courage to fight for her life. She knows that if she doesn't act now, her story will end too soon. Visiting Dr. Now is her first real step toward change. It's terrifying. What if he rejects her for surgery? But deep down, she understands this might be her only chance to turn things around. With fear in her heart and hope in her eyes, she decides to take that brave first step.
But whatever happens, however much I weigh, I just hope I get the help I need today. And the only thing that really has me scared,
when Destinee meets Dr. Now, the reality hits her like a storm. She weighs over 600 pounds, and he wastes no time telling her how dangerous that is. His words sting, but they're exactly what she needs to hear. For once, someone isn't judging her. They're holding her accountable. That honesty lights a spark in her. She wants to prove to herself and to him that she's capable of change. But can she truly break the cycle that's controlled her for so long?
Yes, because you're not giving me the impression you're very interested in losing weight.
well, I do, but I have a lot of
Dr. Now's words are harsh but true. He tells Destinee that she's been through pain, yes, but her eating habits are out of control. If she doesn't stop, she'll die. That blunt truth shakes her to the core. It's a moment of reckoning. She realizes that her trauma can't be an excuse anymore. This is her life, and she has to fight for it. She leaves his office determined to try, no matter how impossible it seems.
Which is going to be eating 400 calories per meal, high protein, no carb diet.
Destinee confesses that she eats to escape her emotions. Sadness, stress, loneliness. It all leads her straight to food. Dr. Now tells her that real healing means facing her feelings, not feeding them. It's a painful truth to hear, but one she desperately needs. For the first time in years, she feels something shift inside. Maybe, just maybe, she can learn to face her pain without hiding behind a plate. This is her chance to finally take her life back.
And it's been hard to change all that and adapt, but I have been working at it, and I do feel like I'm making progress.
Slowly, things begin to change. Destinee starts eating better, more protein, fewer sweets. It's not easy, but she pushes through. She feels lighter, not just in her body, but in her spirit. Every healthy choice feels like a small victory, a promise to herself that she won't give up. Each day she stays committed is another day she proves she's stronger than her past. The progress is slow, but for Destinee, it's the first real sign of hope.
And whether or not I hit my goal, and then whether I get approved for weight loss surgery like I need. But I've worked so very hard.
But transformation isn't a straight line. She loses some weight, but not enough to qualify for surgery. The disappointment crushes her. After months of trying, she still feels stuck. Dr. Now's disappointment mirrors her own. Still, she refuses to give up. She knows what failure feels like, and she's not ready to live in it again. There's a fire in her now, a determination that even setbacks can't extinguish.
You're not showing me there is any real desire with you to put any effort into saving your life. So if you want to move forward, it's very simple.
Dr. Now gives her one last opportunity to prove she's ready, one final chance to show that she's serious about changing her life. If she fails, he's done trying. It's tough love, but it's the push she needs. This is her make or break moment, and Destinee knows it. She's tired of surviving. She wants to live. This time, she's not doing it out of fear, but out of pure, fierce determination.
Good, it's a pleasure to meet you. And whenever you're ready, you can go right on in and have a seat wherever you're most comfortable.
When she starts therapy, everything changes. For the first time, Destinee learns to confront her trauma instead of hiding behind food. The sessions are hard, but they open her eyes to the truth. She deserves love, even from herself. Slowly, she starts healing the emotional wounds that fueled her eating. It's not just about weight anymore. It's about reclaiming her identity and learning to exist without shame.
A little bit of teasing today. Get up, y'all. Just gonna do a little follow along down. This time we're gonna go up.
Her transformation is jaw-dropping. She walks taller, smiles brighter, and moves with confidence. The therapy didn't just change her mindset, it reignited her spirit. She's proud of herself for the first time in years. She's still on the journey, but now she believes she can finish it. Every step she takes feels like victory over everything that once broke her. This isn't just weight loss, it's rebirth.
Because it's so important. I get weight loss surgery today. If I don't, I'm going to end up eating myself to death. And that can't be how it all ends for me.
Destinee's progress shocks everyone. From over 600 pounds to where she is now, it's nothing short of a miracle. Dr. Now can't help but acknowledge how far she's come. She hasn't reached her final goal, but she's closer than ever. The strength, courage, and self-love she's gained mean more than any number on a scale. For the first time, she's living, not just surviving, and that's everything.
Right, okay. But if you don't lose weight, we're not gonna do your surgery. We're gonna cancel it, okay?
Yes, sir.
When Dr. Now smiles, so does Destinee. He tells her she's not finished yet, but he believes she'll make it. The fight isn't over, but she's winning it, one small victory at a time. For a woman who once thought she'd never escape her body, this is everything. She's not the same person anymore. She's stronger, freer, and finally in control of her own life.
Getting a little nervous now that I'm going in, but I'm still mostly excited. This is a very important step for me because it's going to help me lose a lot more weight.
This is Chad's story. Now imagine your nickname being the 3000 Dean Machine. Crazy, right? That's exactly what everyone calls Chad. At over 600 pounds, he feels like the biggest loser in the world. He's a husband and a father, but his family treats him like an invalid. Every day feels like a painful reminder of how far he's fallen. He's trapped in a body that no longer listens to him. It's heartbreaking to see a man who once provided for his family now lose himself completely.
My life is pressing. I need help with just about everything.
You ready? Yeah.
My wife has to take care of me and clean me because I can't do it.
That is honestly humiliating. When Chad first met his wife, he was around 500 pounds, and back then, his weight didn't seem like a big deal. He was strong, dependable, and full of life. Her kids became his kids, and together, they built something that felt solid. But somewhere along the way, everything changed. His health collapsed, and his marriage started to crumble. The man who once carried his family on his shoulders can barely carry himself anymore. That's truly painful to watch.
One day, I went to get up in the truck and I made up to the top step, and being the size I am, my left leg gave and I came out of the truck onto the ground.
That definitely gives us some perspective on how Chad ended up in this situation. But here's the good part. He's finally ready to make a change. He's decided to move to Houston and meet Dr. Now for help. Still, old habits die hard, and before that life-changing trip, Chad can't resist another massive plate of food. It's wild, but it's real. Watching him go all in on yet another meal just shows how deep his addiction runs. Change won't come easy, but at least he's trying to start somewhere.
I don't know why I can't stop.
And I feel like I'm working. There's a lot of days I wonder if this is a day where Aisha's had enough.
That has to be one of the hardest things for any parent to face, the thought of not being there for your kids. Sadly, that's the reality Chad is staring right in the face. His family is selling everything they own to move to Houston for his treatment, but packing up is chaos, and you can hear the frustration in Aisha's voice. She's exhausted, emotionally and physically. It's like watching hope clash with resentment. She's doing everything she can, but deep down, she's scared this move won't change anything.
But I have to try.
Exotically.
Tyus. Just leave it, please. Oh my God.
It's not his fault. He just can't help as much as he like to.
You can already feel the resentment building in her tone. Aisha is tired of packing, tired of worrying, tired of carrying a man who won't stop eating. She admits that if this weight loss program doesn't work, their marriage might be over for good. Meanwhile, Chad throws a fit over not getting a second sandwich. Seriously? At this point, it's not just about food, it's about control. He's angry, defensive, and clearly in denial. It's painful to see how food has replaced love, patience, and understanding in their home.
Her and my daughter.
And they okay with that, or?
They're not okay with it. Problem is, if I don't get it.
Now, this is the part we've all been waiting for. After months of struggle, setbacks, and frustration, Chad finally pulls through. He does what many thought was impossible. He loses enough weight to get approved for surgery. It's an incredible moment. You can see the relief on his face and the pride in his wife's eyes. Despite all the chaos, he made it. For the first time in years, there's a spark of hope. He's finally ready to take back control of his life. Honestly, he deserves this win.
You lost 40 pounds, exactly. Everyone did great.
Last time I came, you said I didn't qualify for the surgery at all.
Chad must feel like the happiest man alive right now. All he ever wanted was this moment, to be approved for surgery and get his life back. But just when things start to look up, disaster strikes. It turns out Chad has a more serious health issue that needs immediate attention. The excitement fades quickly as he's rushed in for another surgery. It's a terrifying twist in his journey, and you can see the fear in everyone's eyes. One wrong move, and everything he's fought for could disappear.
The swelling that need to be addressed, particularly in the area of the hookup of the stomach to intestine where the bypass is.
That surgery was no joke. It was intense, risky, and could have easily gone the other way. Thankfully, Chad made it through alive. Apparently, he'd been struggling to swallow, which kept him from taking his medication properly. Dr. Now stepped in just in time, fixing what could have ended his life. Now, Chad's routine looks completely different. Smaller portions, light movement, and strict follow-ups. He's finally learning what discipline feels like. It's tough, but he's determined to push through. This time, he's not letting his second chance go to waste.
Honey, would you like some soup?
All right, love you.
Aisha's sick today, so I'm trying to do everything. It's been years since I've taken care of the whole house. It's kind of nice to be able to do this.